come to an end. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to be sharing my screen just to show us what we've covered. You just let me know if. Hope you guys have access to this outline. Do we have access to this outline? I guess, do we have access? I can't hear you. Pardon?
Access to what?
To this outline for the class.
If you could just drop again that link. Last week we were not using it. Oh, where did we save? Just drop us the link again if you don't mind.
Okay, I'll just get one here very quickly. Now this is the outline that we've been following for the class. It's important that you guys have a copy, can review it, because we want you to know how far we have covered, and probably if you've missed out on anything, you can be able to let us know, and we will revisit it up again. So this link was shared with you at the beginning of the class to be able to see how far we are covering. I said at the beginning of the class that this class is going to be covering the Excel Essentials, which is the beginners, and then the Excel Power Users, which is the intermediate content in this particular class. And we did cover all of this in the beginning classes. We covered the first lesson, second lesson, the third lesson, work with rows and columns, formatting, tolling values. We also covered till saving a file. That was the first day of the class. And beyond that, we've been covering with Brenda since Tuesday last week, formatting data. I don't know if you guys did all this. Anything that looks unclear to you, you can raise it up. Working with worksheets and data still. This was Brenda still taking you on this. Working with data, still Brenda was taking you on this, and printing a workbook. I am told that in this segment for printing a workbook, she didn't cover inserting headers and footers, probably, which I would highlight at the beginning of this class today. Then you did also working with tables in the Excel. It's quite extensive. Also, that was covered last week. And then I'm told this is what remains on this class, and that's what is going to be covered by me. What is down here is the Excel experts. This segment is out of scope for this class. We're not going to be getting deeper into this. However, I would give you a few things that are in Excel experts, just to have you guys get an extra view and understanding in Excel into this. So I'll do some of these in today's class. I'll pick out a few things and I'll be showing you how they're done from the Excel expert segment today, if time allows us. So allow me also say that today will be our last class, since we have covered the entire class content for the Excel class as planned. And I would also take on any questions, any things that were unclear in this class that you'd like to do a recap on as we proceed. Probably you could, if you're gonna share it now, we could look at it, or if you share it later on, you can share on the group, and then we can be able to give insights on the various things probably you might not have understood clearly. So I don't know if I have been clear. I'll let you now get into the class.
Yes, I don't know, maybe before you start.
Yes.
I don't think we touched the formulas.
The formulas, what is that?
My interest was just to sort of get a bit more acquainted. We just didn't go there at all.
It's here. It's what I'm going to be covering today, actually. The advanced functions. It's what is in the class today. The advanced functions. Yeah.
Let's see, there's something in data that we failed to complete. I don't know if Amy remembers. Which was like we sort of tried out and it was not working out. Amy, do you remember? We had to go before completing it because
fields, inputting something there, referencing something. That's what I remember.
Doing what?
Referencing in Excel.
Referencing. Oh, okay.
And I think we're doing some formulas sometime and we stopped.
Okay, so you spoke about referencing in Excel. Still, I'm going to be looking at referencing in Excel today's class. It's on my plan today, though it wasn't. It's fully covered, I think, in the expert class down here. It's here. Referencing data, inserting references in Excel. I know that I'm going to be covering a bit of this today still. That is also noted. Referencing. Okay. Yeah, I think anything else I'd like to jump into the class. May I? Okay.
yes, you may. Yes.
Okay, so right about now, we are going to look at advanced functions. Now, there is quite a lot of things that we can do. We can do in Excel with the advanced functions, and this gives us power when we're using Excel if we know how to work the advanced functions. I'm going to pull up a data set here to work with as so having this data set, where is it? Okay, I'm having this data set.
Adrian, I'm sorry, I'm going to be in transit for the next 10 minutes, but
Okay.
I'm listening in until I get to settle home.
Okay. So right here, we are having this data set, and we would like to do something with it and work with a VLookup function. Now, VLookup means vertical lookup in Excel, and it helps us always try to look up particular points of data and work with them in a given way. So right here, I am having this. I'll delete this column. I'll also just have that table there. So I'm having a data set here of students, male and female, and still okay. I'll just show a number of things on this class. So still I have this. Allow me to delete this column also. I'll just put it back in when I need it. So also allow me to delete this. So I'm gonna just remove them because I want to show you how to put them, how to get there. Okay, so I have a list of students in a particular class in Math, English, and Literacy 1, and we have their grade. And we would like to begin by getting their average score for this class. We all know how we do that, right? So how do we get the average score? Any ideas? Hello? Do we really know how we get the average score? Like easily. Okay. 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 Let me show you that too. So basically, we have this. We can do it in many different ways, but the most easy way is to work with the auto sum. But then we want the auto average here. We have the auto sum average count numbers, max, mean, and more functions. But then we want to just work with the auto average, and then we click enter. Now this will give me the auto average, the average of these three points of data, and then I have a number like that. I can guide and I autofill that downwards, but then still my average looks a bit weird. It has many decimal points. These are about 5 of these. I would like to make them come down to at least 2 points, decimal points. So I'll customize my data. Here I'll use a custom format of numbers and make all those come down to 2 decimal points. Okay, so I have the average, but I also would like to get the grade for these. Now me typing grade A, B, C, D for, let me say, for about 1,000 points of data, it's gonna be a bit hectic. So I need to work with something that is gonna help me get to do this in a snap of in a click, and then I have all grades in right there. So I'm going to work with something we call the VLookup. The VLookup is basically going to look up a particular the data from a given table and then feed it in a particular location where you want it to be fed in. Now I have a table here for the score and then the grade. For 0, it says F, for 50, E, 60D, 70C, 80B, and then 90A. So this is basically a table I want to work with in this instance. So I have a table for data where I'm passing in my data, and I have another table that is where I'm getting the data from. So I'm going to pick from here the A's and the A's, the B's, the C's, and then I pass them here as grades. But then I need to know which do I put where. So that's where now VLookup comes in. Why VLookup? Because I'm dealing with a column, average column, that's gonna get me that I want to work with to get the grade in this instance. So right here, I just get in there, I highlight my cell, and then I'm gonna go to formulas. Then there's this icon here called lookup and reference. So lookup and reference, I'm going to, there are quite many in there, but I'm going to go up, down, and I get VLookup. Now, when I click VLookup, realize it opened up another window. I don't know if you can see that window. Can we see that window? Can we see a window opened up called function argument? You may not be seeing.
Just kindly go back. Where did you find it?
Okay, so I say that we're gonna come here to grades. We want to look up from this table these grades and then pass them in this column. It being a column, it's vertical, so we're gonna look up vertically. So we're gonna work with the VLookup function. So we go to formulas, and then we work with this tab here, lookup and reference. When you click it, it will give you a drop down, and you scroll down, and then you click VLookup. Now, when I click VLookup, I get a pop-up table that comes out called the function argument. Can we see the table all over?
Yes, I can see the table.
Okay, now what we have in here is called it's going to ask us for various parameters to be able to do its work very well. So it says lookup value. Now you pass to this a lookup value. This lookup value is basically the value you want to use as a reference value in this instance. For example, now this case, my lookup value here is going to be the average column, which is F2 in this instance. But then I want to look up what I'm putting in here from the table array. This is my table. Now, this table may not be, let me first answer this. This table is named grades from here, but it may not be named grades at some point. Okay, I just named it because I wanted to work with it for the class, but you may always have a table. Okay, let me just do here another table that is not named to show you that still you need to see the difference. So I have this other table here I want to work with. Called score and grade. So these are some tables, but I want to work with this. Now this table is not named. When I highlight this table, you realize it's not named right here in my name box. So this table, if you're going to work with it that way, it may give you hard time to really select and reference. So what you do is you always make sure that you name the table array. So you come here, you highlight the table, and then you name it. So I call it grade. The other one is grades. I call this grade. So down here, right here, I have my tables. Okay. So if I select this table, sorry, something is going well. Okay, I call that grade. So I click enter. So when I click enter, this table is named grade. When I select here, it's to show me grade. So that's the name of that table. This other table here is named grade. When I highlight it here, it's going to show me grade. So that helps me to work with it very, very easily. So I'm going to remove this other one, and I work with the other one. Okay. So come back here, I do the lookup, and then so I have that and my table range. So I'm gonna just type grades here as my table. So you realize it shows me the table I'm working with. So it says score grade 0F50E. So it kind of lists out the elements or the items in that table.
So then it asks me for the column index number in the table. So which column am I going to be working with in this instance? So it wants the column index number. In this case, my column is column 2 because score is column 1, grade is column 2. So I'm going to pass 2 as my column number. Now it asks me now for the what? For the range lookup. Now, in this particular instance, it wants the range lookup. The range lookup is basically when you look down here, it says it's a logical value to find the closest match in the first column. So you realize our figures are like 65 and our table doesn't have 65 in there. So for it to get a match, it's going to work with the closest value that it can work with. So when I put 0, 0 will mean I want the exact match. So that won't work. If I put 1, that means I want the closest number that fit that match. So here in this instance, I'm gonna put 1. But notice that we are saying look for a value in the leftmost column of a table, and then return the value in the same row from a column you specify by default. The table must be sorted in the ascending order, but then our table must be sorted in ascending order. So still, I will cancel this and come back here and we sort our table in ascending order. So we want to sort it in ascending order. So your last expanded sort, do that way. So I'll do that, go back very fast, go through the entire process, do that, table array grades, type grades, the red spelling that you put out there, to, and then you wanna put 1, then you click OK. So we get an F, okay? We get an F. So when we autofill this, we need to be seeing what we are getting well. So we're getting F for now. Then we're seeing the E's coming in there, then the D coming in, and then you go to the A's. But I want to first undo this and first go back and I still show you something. I want to first undo this. I'm going to do this without sorting my table in descending order. I think it still works. I'll do VLookup. I'm looking up the average argument there. The table array is called grade. And then I'm working with column 2 and range 1. So click OK. So it gives me D. So I come here, I autofill, and I have the A, B, C, D. You realize it still works even without me sorting it in ascending order, right? Yeah. So that's how VLookup works. We basically trying to look up a given value in another table and feed it in another table. At this point, I'll digress a bit and show you something. Still, I want to cover in this class. Now, realize I'm having my gender right here, and my gender is male, female. It looks a bit weird in small letters. So I'd like to make this a bit capital just to look a bit fancy for my text. So I'm going to just come up here and I want to make this uppercase, all of it. Okay, so I'm going to just come here and I say text. I come to text formulas. These are called text functions that still I want to cover in this class. So I'm going to look up something called upper. Now, when I say upper, okay, no, Let's undo this. I'm gonna just create a new column here. A new column right here. And I'm gonna call it gender. Okay, and then I'm gonna get the text function. I want upper, but then I want to pass the text in C2 in that regard. So here it shows me that male, then it will become male capital. So this converts a text string to all uppercase letters. So I'll just say okay, and then when I autofill that, it will fill my entire column for 1,000 types of data in capital letters. So now I can even go ahead and I delete this. Okay. Oh, I cannot delete it. It's referenced to this column. Okay, now still probably I want to do something different. I want to probably work with the sex, but have it as MF not male as a full or female as a full. I still want to extract just the first letter from this text. Still, I'll work with the text functions. I'll just come in here and I'll say I want to get one letter from this. So I look up for the left. It says this will return the specified number of characters from the start of the text string. So I want to use this and I want to return the first character, and that is M. So, and if I click OK, it's gonna give me the first letter. And then when I autofill that, it will go FM, MMF, just like that. So those are text functions. The lower, the upper, and that. So we can do more stuff with the functions and make work easy for large types of data. Any questions to this point? Okay, I suppose we are good. So I'd like to close this step of this data set and I pull up another and I show you something else still in function. Okay. So still in functions, I'd like us to work with a given data set. Okay, still in functions, I like us to work with a given data set, this particular one here. And right with me here, I have a very big data set. Now, this is basically employee data, but it's quite extensive, very big. Okay, I hope we are together. You can keep telling me we are together so that I can know that we're doing well. So there's something still I'd like to talk about right here. It's about I don't know if you covered it in the previous class. It's about outlining and grouping large types of data. So I have this big data, and I do not want to work with all of it. Actually, I want a few bits of it, and I want a few bits of it. It's quite extensive. So I have all this data set, but I literally don't want to work with these via in current role, in things. It's quite so much that it's out of scope of what I want. So what happens is that I can be able to hide this. I can be able to hide my data set. Right, please. Okay, so what I've been doing just here is to try to undo what I've just done, so I can do it and you see how it's done. Okay, so what's happening here now is that we have a large chunk of data sets about employees. It's HR kind of data: employee names, age, daily rate, department, field of education, employee number, gender, hourly rate, quite so much. But for today's analysis, probably I don't want to work with everything, and I want to see a very small set of data. So I can try to outline, and I group and I keep away various portions of my data set. For example, I don't want to work with number of companies and hours worked. Obviously, it's quite not in the scope of what I want to work with today. So I can highlight it, and I come here to, there is this group, this drop down. I'll go to the drop down, and then I will just say group. So what happened is that it went and it grouped for me all that data that I'm having in a single unit of data. So when I click this minus, the data is kept away. It's kept away, and I can open it up when I click this plus. It opens up again. Okay, so that keeps my data within what I want to work on. But still, when I look here, I have hourly rate, job involved, and job level. Still, this is not what I want to work with. I don't want to work with this, so I also need to keep it away. So I'll just come here and I say group that and hide it away. So I now have a bit of the data that I probably want to work with. I have the gender with me here. I have the job role, the status of marriage. Then there's this other data here, monthly and monthly rate. Oh, this is not, I don't want to work with that. Still, I'll group it away. I'll group it away and I will hide it. I'll also keep it away. So I now have what I want to work with. So right here, I want to do both VLookup and HLookup, okay? But I begin by HLookup. So I want to extract some portions of data from this but I want to also work with another sheet this time round, not doing it on the same sheet. So as you can see how it's done. So I have here this table, which I'm not going to work with, but I'll just copy a bit of it. But I'll just create a new sheet here for us to appreciate the extent of work. So I have this sheet here, and basically in here I'm having the employee number, the name, the age, the status, and then the job role that I want to pick out and do a summary of the workers with that basic information. Probably I want to print out a summary of all the employees in the company, and I want to know their name, their employee number, their age, are they married or not, and their job role. Still, I'll switch this up a little bit. Yeah, I just want it that way. I have name, employee number, age, status, and then job role. So I'm having this as a name here. Okay, now HLookup basically works like this. So I'm having this big table here, big set of data, and I want to look up values with H. H means horizontal lookup. So we are looking for the data horizontally in this instance. So we're working with rows other than columns as we did for the VLookup. So we want to look up data from this data set. So we come here and then we want to look up something and put it there, go to formula, to do formulas, and then click HLookup. Now this particular one is a bit similar to the previous VLookup, but then it comes with a different kind of implementation. So they're asking for the lookup value. Now they want to know what value are you trying to look up in this instance. And my lookup value is going to be a, which is name. So when I go to, let me switch this up a bit. When I go to let's see something clearly on my screen. So when I go to my data set I'm trying to use, I see that I'm having the column A being the name. The name is at A1. Okay, let's answer that up. Okay. Okay, HLookup. So right here, I'm gonna come to this side. Then I'm having this. Okay. As A1, it's my name. It's also my name the other side in the sheet. So I'm going to work with A1. Be careful not to put that way. Okay. A. Okay. It's adding something I don't want to add. Just want A1. That's what I want. Okay. So so now it's asking me for the table array. The table array is that entire table. So as I shared earlier, that you must actually name your table to avoid a bit of hiccup in your work. So my table here was named. Till I can come here and I look up here, and my table should be named. So it's named employees. Okay. Named employees. You see, when I click here, I see employees with that Z. So it will pass it in here as employees automatically. Then it's going to ask for the row index num. That's the row that I want to extract data from in the employees table. So I want to pick on the second name of the employee, which is at row 3. So I'll pass that as row 3, and I'd like to get now for this one, the range lookup won't be one as before, because here I'm getting out a text. So I don't want to get something close to that. I want to get the exact value. So I'll put 0 because I want the exact match from the other table to this other side. So when I click OK, what happens is that Alfred J. Lewy is passed this in this table. So what happened is that HLookup looked up the value from the employees sheet to the new sheet, and it passed it in there with that. I don't know if we really understand how that happened. Okay, I guess we are good. Okay, so we did VLookup here. So now we probably gonna do that for the next 4, 3, 6. But when I try to autofill this, it gives me a non-available value, NA error right here, and it says value not available error. So why is this happening? This is happening because we're dealing with Excel is assuming that it's increasing the value of A1 that I passed in my formula right here by 1. So here it's coming to A2, A3, A4, A4, A5. So this is basically it's saying we want to probably do an additive refresh in this instance, the way we do it when we are adding and doing everything. So it's doing a relative referencing for this particular filling, auto filling, which is not right. So I don't want that to happen. So I want to keep my A1 throughout, by then change my column, my row value at all times. Okay, so when I change that and I do it that way, I get Harper Dog Brown coming in there as the next guy right there. So basically, you may have to just edit that up to keep this in A1 as our row we're working in, and get that right as increasing the number of rows we're working in. So it may be a bit tiresome for this row, but things get a bit better as we proceed. So we have GNA coming in there, and then we have, I think this coming in at 7. Yeah, right there, Sam Henderson. Let me also do this, and then I show you what I was going to see. So so now we've managed to get all these here. Now we want to get more data from the table. That I want to get the employee number, age, and job role. So here we're gonna do still. No, let's do a VLookup right here. Here we're gonna do a VLookup in this instance. So let's just do a VLookup here. Let me just get here, do a VLookup. Okay, let me first delete this entirely, and then do, let me just remove that entirely, and then do a VLookup. Okay, now a VLookup here is gonna look up items in the other table, Okay, this is going to be our lookup value right here. Then I'm going to work with an array, a table array, which is that still. I realize when I click it, it fills for me this table. So I want to work with which column in the employees. That employee number in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's in column 6. Column 6. Then I want to get the exact number, not what it looks like. So I'll just click OK, and then I get the employee number right there with VLookup. So when I do autofill, this one must work out like magic, so it fills out my stuff very well. So still, I'm going to do VLookup. If I do VLookup still for the others, I get VLookup A2 being my reference data point, and then I do M2 that still I get the edge. I can autofill that, to do VLookup for the metadata. I autofill that, then do VLookup for job role. I still get that out. So you realize that here we did HLookup. Here we did VLookup for the rest of the data set. So we can get a random number, and then we look it up vertically, horizontally. Let's get some random types of data. Let me just get it to you. Like, let me just do this, and then let me just highlight this and I'll show you something. Now, if you want to do extra VLookups, we probably now have that. And then realize that NNA. So when I come here and I edit this formula to look up, let me say, a given employee at row 45, and I click enter, I get the name Rob Sheffield. Now row 45, I'll just say just come step A45. Okay, just step A45 right there, and then we have Robbie Sheffield coming in there. So by then we do not have yet the values for this, okay? Because this guy pulled down, and it shows me HLookup right here. Yet this must be VLookup. Okay, so I'm having data that is not right down there. So I need to rectify that by doing a pull. Still, this must I need to do a pull right here to rectify that data set, inputs and formulas right there. So when I do an edit here, I get my inputs auto at 80. We get things happen automatically. I don't know why this is not working automatically. Still, I'm seeing HLookup coming in. Yes, I need a V. So when I do an edit here for an employee, let me say at column, at row 200, 100, then I do an enter. I see Steve Anderson coming in. Employee number 1682, 36, married, is a healthcare representative coming in my data. When I still do a random row, look up a random row right here. Let me say 324 coming in. I still get Greg Karukas coming in there as a research scientist in my data. So I can do this to basically auto fill a given table of data with VLookup and HLookup. Okay, Whitney Burger coming in there still. So we have still A1, and then let's say we have 1, 2, 2, 4, and if that point of data is in here, but let's see it's right there. So this guy is also married. Sammy Greenlee is married, and his exact time is also coming in from our data set. How about if I change something small right here? This I'm going to explain. Okay. I get error latency, but that's what I wanted to get. I wanted to get someone else at some data point elsewhere. So I get D DOS. Now, why? You may wonder why I put that $sign after A and 1. I'm going to explain at some point, but let me just change this up to, I don't know if that exists. Oh, it exists. Del par val. Okay, still, I don't know if this type of data points exist. Racid spam. So this also gets down here. There's 0, 0. Okay, I don't know what is their age. Ah, okay, this is strange. Okay. Okay, these numbers are really extensive. Let me just try to calm them down and see my things work out. Yeah, these were really extensive. Yeah, I get Alan Jeffries and Lisa Landry coming in. So I've worked with both VLookup in this instance and HLookup to make this table and do data from the previous sheet to initiate just like that. Do we have any questions to this point? Yes, guys, do you have any questions to this point? Oh, we're good. Okay. I think I'm a good teacher, so I think we are good. All right. So we have looked at VLookup, HLookup. I want us to look at match and index. Still, we looked at upper. Yeah, we looked at upper. I still want to look at. I want to look at a lower and then proper, then concatenate. So we proceed. I'll get another data set.
Edward, before you go on,
Yes.
How do you ungroup the data, the columns?
Okay, these ones. So you can open them up by just clicking the plus sign. They all open up again. So if you want to ungroup them, still you do the same thing like you did it. You see this grouping here. You can just highlight that and then come to still data, and then you click ungroup. That outline will disappear. And then also we have this little outline here. Little outline we made here, so you want to ungroup that and ungroup it that way. Still, we have that and ungroup it that way. Still, we have this huge one. So you can ungroup by doing just ungroup button right here. So we can still click here ungroup, and that will be ungrouped, and you'll have back your data set the way it was.
Somehow I'm not able to ungroup. I grouped well, but
Are you highlighting them well? When you highlight the entire column, like right here,
the one
highlight.
I grouped them, but now I need to ungroup.
So highlight and ungroup.
I highlight all of them.
No, highlight the section you grouped. Let me say
But
you
how do I highlight it when it's hidden?
Oh, so you see a plus sign?
I grouped B and C, the columns B and C. Now, what I'm seeing on my screen is I can see that there is something hidden between A and B. That is what I want to ungroup.
Okay, do you mind sharing screen?
Yeah. That.
Okay, so you're having that, and you're right there. Did you ungroup? Did you group or you hidden?
I grouped. I did this.
You did that. Okay. Now this is Excel what?
2013.
2013. Okay. Now you see that when you hover around there, you see the arrows like split, like become two. Try to get that and hold it and then drag. Try to hover around there, huh? No, hover around there till you have those two arrows, those two there. Then drag and push. Drag apart.
Oh, so it's like they are hidden, right?
Yeah, they are hidden right in there. When you get those two arrows that are separators, you hold them right there and then you push, they're going to separate those two. And
so what's the difference between what you are doing and this?
Okay, now try to highlight for me a B to C, B to D. And highlight the entire column, like hold the columns up, B, and drag to D. Click D, the upper, that one, then like that. Then go to group. Group, click that arrow. Then group. Good. So you see this minus sign, click that, click the plus, open it up.
So that's it, right?
You click the plus sign instead. Click the plus. That opens it up.
So if I'm to ungroup, I do the same and instead.
Yes, if you are to ungroup, you still highlight it and go and say ungroup.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no. So we proceed. So as we proceed, we want to do some indexing and match. Let me pull out my data set for indexing. Where is that? Okay, so I want to pull out my data set here. We learn about how to work with the index function and how do we work with the match. So just get. Okay, so now we are going to see how they work with indexes and they work with a match.
match functions. They're quite basic. So we're having this data set. Let me switch you index. We're having this data set. We can see it. Okay, we can see this. So this data set is a list of products that a company is selling, and they have IDs. They have a parent ID, they have the product name, a unit cost, and then the ordered, how many products have been ordered, let me say that particular year. So we then we have an orders sheet, that Excel sheet that we need to work with. Now this special sheet, basically we've looked at VLookup, still it works with the same concept that we've seen. VLookup works with the same concept that we've seen before, but then we want to try to work with something different this time around. Okay, let me just use another data set. Just a minute. Let me just use another data set for this. Let me use where is it? Let me use this particular one. Okay, we're seeing this. This is store sales. Basically having this particular table. Okay, we literally know how to get all that. So I have I'll just erase that just to have it get back there. So I'm having these various tables, these tables for the sales, sorry, I'm mixing up my lesson notes. Let me get what I should be using. So this one is what I should be using. So I'm having this data set here. It's about store products. From this product, I have another sheet here that does store, and it keeps track of the sales in every store for a given quarter. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, and then the total is coming in there for every year: 2020, 2021, 2020, 2019, and 2018. So you basically want to find out about a particular store, the totals of a given store on a particular year, how it works. So you want to know how store 2340001 worked in 2021. So you like to just extract a point of data in here. So store, which is store 1 in this instance, has this, and then it has this total. So we would like to index this value and put it right here. So we work with the index function. We come right in the lookup, and then we gonna just the index. So it asks us, do you want to do an array row num, comma, column num? We shall say okay to work with that basic one. Now this one basically is trying to ask us for a few things like the array, the row number, and then the column. So the row number for this particular table, the array is they want the table reference. So we are going to come here and highlight this. This will become our array. Realize it's called table one, hashtag all within table one has been selected. So in the row num, they want which row is in the table is the number you're trying to index. So store one is in row 2. This is row 1, this is row 2. So we're gonna just say 2 right in there. And then they're asking us now, what column do you want to focus on? Row 2, which column? So it's column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's in column 6, which is the total in this instance. So we'll say 6. And then we shall click OK. And when we say OK, realize this figure, this number right here comes in right there. Okay. So it basically picks on that, puts it there, and then runs. So if you try to do for all the stores in the year 2021 and you want to look up their totals, we'll try to do an autofill and you realize it just doesn't work because it outputs the same value for all of them. When I check the formula right here, still in that I'm having table 1, row 2 still selected, and I have row 6 still selected, which is okay, but this one is wrong. So the row number must change for me to get a right answer. So when I change the row number, I get the output of the second store right in here. So that basically works with the index by us changing the row number, and we get all that we need. Okay, I'd like to show you something else here now. This is row 5. I won't do for all of these. I just want now to show you something different. Now, the other option is that we can do that for the other tables also. Still, it won't do it like magic. It will assume table 1, but yet you wanted to work with table 2. Still row 2, and that is it. So that will come up there, and it's the value we have in red in table 2 for 2021 and store 1. So that's how index function works. You're basically trying to pick a value from a given location in a given table and put them together. You probably make meaning out of it. Probably you would like to get the performance say of store 1 on all the given years, but they're different tables. But also you notice that my tables are of the same format and arrangement. The equal number of rows and equal number of columns are really very particular when you're working with the index function. So how about if we do not want to do it that way and we want to work with the next option we have here, and it's called index, but then we index with the reference row. This particular option asks for a reference. Now here we don't want to choose a table every time we want to do it. We want to reference all the tables and then we just look up our values and give them to us. So I'd like to just say brackets, and then I want to select all the tables at once. So I'll select, not really. So I'll select all my tables at once in this instance. So I'll select this table, let's say comma, select the next table, still I'll say comma, select the next table, still I'll say comma, and then select the last table. This makes work a bit more easy if you're working with multiple tables. Then they're asking me for, you see the hash value error here, don't mind it, it's not clear after we have everything right. So they're asking me for, let me say they want, I'm trying to do this for, this is tower 5, which is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at the 6th row, and then column remains 6 because the total coming in on every side. Then they ask me for the area. Now they ask me for which table do you want to pull this from. So I want to pull it from table 1 because I'm 2020, so I'll say table 1, and then to give me a figure right there, it's okay. So when you check when you check tower 5 and the value for it for that particular year, that okay. So if I try to do this, I still get the various the same output coming in for all the other years, because I had to select the table. So I need to just change this to table 2, and that will change this to table 3, and that will change that to table 4, and then I have that. So when I try to do a vertical autofill, still that won't work until I've changed the row I'm working in to row 7, row 8, and row 9. Okay, so this is basically how you're gonna deal with the various tables. You can autofill that up, and then you know this is row 9, and this is table 3 still, yeah. So realize now when you do that, you just probably change now the row number, just change the row number to row 9. Hey, sorry, this was not 9, this was 7, 7 was 8. So this was 8. So 8. Okay, so realize you pick them up like that, and then you'll have all the totals brought in here by the index function. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have in particular.
Okay, we proceed. Time is running down, let's cover up the things we need to cover up.
Okay, on my side, I'm not following it, but I will pick up on the video, and then you will allow me. I don't know if after this you can give us at least maybe like an hour of consultation after like I've tried to do it on my own to see that I am better. If you could allow that, I know the class is ending today, but that I go over whatever we have studied, and then I can get back to you, like at least if you give me an hour of consultation, if it's allowable.
That's okay. That's okay. We can arrange for that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I like to do something else before our time gets up, and that's called match the match function. Now let me pick up any table. set of data and work with that. Okay, now there are two more things I want to show you guys before we close. So right here, you can see my screen, right? Let me begin by showing you this. Now, let me show you how to insert references as you asked me. Now, imagine we have this set of data, and we probably want to insert a reference. As I said, this is called reference. Basically, we're trying to add, let me say, we're adding from B, what? Is B4, right? Then from B4 to the column means a range to E4, right? Now this is a basic reference that we've worked with before. So when I do that, it does an autofill for all those down there, okay, for me. So this is called a reference, okay. But then imagine I want to get the total value for all these and put it here as my total sales in this instance. So I'll basically just do an equal sum. Make it up the sum, and then I like to do the reference for all these parameters, just like that. So I do a selection of this table, and I want to add everything in there and get a total. So I'll just highlight that and I close the bracket and click enter. Now this gives me the sum of all these, okay, without me wanting to come down here, let's say total sum, get me all that. But by just doing that, I reference it and I get, if you see, it says table 1, first quarter to fourth quarter. So it gets me that entire sum for table 1, and it gives me the total sales for me right here. How about if I want to get to do referencing for commission for my workers here? So basically, commission is of total sales. So I'm basically gonna say equals bracket. Just for that, I say this particular cell says a total. But let me just, okay, let me just do it not as total, but let me just say bracket F17. Okay, that's F17. Then I want to multiply. I want to multiply by the commission rate right here. When I close that up and I click enter, I get the commission value for the guy right here, who is called Sam Henderson. So, but down here I get errors for the other values, and here I get some figure. Let me see. Here I get very huge figures. So now this cannot be commission. This is in 1, 2, 3, 4, in this billion, trillion. It's quite not commission right here. So we're getting wrong values here. If you check the formula right here, it says F20, then it says C17. So it keeps going down to pick on the values. So Excel by default, it works with the referencing of the parameters in a way that is relative, like it follows the next figure in the row to pick on that. So what it does here, because I passed 14, so it picked on the next value, it picked on 15. Which we don't want. So we wanted to work with the value as absolute in this instance. So we come right here and then we change up something small. In a formula right up here, we want to make C14 constant throughout the entire calculation. So we just come in here and then we add a $sign before C and then another $sign before 14. Now what this one is going to do is that it's going to make that value absolute in all the rows that we're going to work with in this instance. And then it's going to keep altering F17 and move it to other values in that row, in that column. So when I click enter right there, I get the right commission value coming in. So this is about referencing data in Excel. So this is how we insert differences in Excel. Any questions at this point? Okay, let me do this last one, and then we out. So I'm going to show you a bit of conditional formatting. So imagine I'm having this data here and I want to format it conditionally. So I want to probably use color scales, and it's going to sort this in a gradient format. So I'm having the high value showing in there as green, then the lowest being the dark red coming in. So when I format this thing with color scales, I can get to analyze my data better by viewing it in a different way. So this can tell me that this is the lowest value I'm having. Some has the least commission, and then it tells me that Aaron Lacret has the highest commission in the year 2021. It also says that this guy Sophie Chrome has the next high, and this one's coming in the next low, and Mark Ruth coming in as the next to Aaron, and then the others coming in right there. So this is color scale that you can work with to format your data. Also, you can do formatting with conditions and do it. Let me say, you can do bar format. You can do it that way. Still, this can show you the guy with the least commission on a given tire point in a given quarter. Shows you that Grant Nelson had the highest commission in here. Still, you can do that with let me use some more baskets here. I can show you here that Aaron Lacret had the highest commission. I missed out on that. Back format, yeah, they have which is 0. So we also have, you can have that still showing here. Then you can do conditional formatting for that. Let me say in green, till we see this guy coming in as the highest commission for a given for this particular quarter. So you can do all these, and you can make your data more readable and more understandable where you formatting it per condition. You can do more than that. Still here, you can format it by greater or less or between. You can say everything greater than let me say 10 million USD, can say anything greater than 10 million USD. Highlight it for us. Okay, let's just do that. And they are saying here we are choosing light green, but by default it's still light red, still with dark red. So oh, nothing happened. I don't know why. Anything above. Let's repeat that. We use that wrong. Greater. Okay, let's say less than. Less than what? Less than this. Less than, let me see, 18, 15, 14, 11, 31. Let's say anything less than 10 million. Right there, I think everything selected.
Nothing seems to change. Still remains red.
Let me review my conditional formatting here. So it says, let me format with anything that is greater than 11. I use this as a reference cell. Okay. Nothing still seems to change. Okay. Let me delete this rule. Clear rule for select cells. Let me clear that rule and try to apply that rule here. I'm applying that rule right here, and I want to see anything that is greater than 10 million USD. Okay. Okay, nothing seems to change still. I don't know why that rule not formatting well on my side. Let me try between let me leave that by default as has been for me. Okay. Still doesn't wait. Less than light red, not light red, green field. Less than 10 million is always a 10 million. 1003, 1005. Let's say less than 6. Less than, let's say 6. Here it works actually. When you said anything less than 68 with green, we have $1 right here turning, sorry, $1 million turning to green, and the ones above that remaining untampered with. Still, we can say we can add a rule to that condition, and we say anything greater than. Still, I'll say greater than that to become red. Till that will change. So that works like that. Anyway, it was refusing to work up there, but that's how we can format given on the using the greater and less than format. Now we also have what we call icon sets. Let me work with that here. Icon sets also a way of formatting. We have traffic lights right here. We have these. I think this can make a bit of sense. We have the flags. Okay, the flags also come off a bit cool. So we are trying to show you the highest figure in green. Red is literally the lowest, the sharpest red, which is I think this one. This one here will be the sharpest red, but this may not be giving us a clear view. because of the low variation in our data set. Let's try this one with traffic light. Traffic light. Now you see this one here. We have some orange coming in, some red, green coming in at 12 million, and that. So it gives you a clear view of your data, and you're able to make meaning out of it by analyzing it in that way. Any questions?
Yes, a query regarding that conditional formatting, that one of icon set. Did you preset a rule?
Icon set? No, no, it's not preset. It's like it works this way. Let me just get it. It works in a way that when you're trying to check that now green means the value is high, red means it's low. Okay, so it's not it's a rule in itself that it will choose a set of icons that will represent the values that you've selected. So when the green always will be the highest value, then the low will be the most red, the most green, the highest, the most green. So the orange comes in there, and they keep changing because of the low variation in our data point. We see some red, but the red is varying from the red for $2,000 and the red for $700,000. Still, it differs in there. Like when you work with this particular one here, it picks green, then that the rest are a bit crossed out because they are low values. Just tells you that this guy here has the highest value and the rest are struggling. So are we good to this point?
Yeah.
So I've had a chance to look at how do we search differences, how do we outline data by grouping it and ungrouping it, how do we do formatting with conditions, how do we work with text functions, the right, the upper, what I haven't showed you probably is the left and the mid. Allow me show you that briefly. Let me just click on that. Okay. Let me show you something. If you give me like 30 minutes and then we close. Sorry for keeping you this long. Okay. Something that I think I have not showed you, but I think it's important. Can I show it to you guys? Can you give me like 5 minutes? It's called referencing. Another way we will reference. Allow me like 5 minutes.
Please, we also struggled to put a footer and a header. We were unsuccessful during the lesson.
I forgot about that. Okay, let me show you this briefly. So how do we probably get to reference data from various workbooks? For example, you have like various workbooks you work with and you want to pick data from them and put them in a single workbook. So basically you're having sales tables in various workbooks, and you want to pick the total sales from all these workbooks into a single workbook. For example, I have Sam Anderson right here. He is a sales guy in the US, and he has sold this product. And this is this table. And still, I also have Thomas.
Is your table? Your table is just showing total sales and US is what we are seeing.
Okay, sorry. I need to share my screen so that I can flip easily. Okay, just watch that. So right here, I'm having Thomas Serion sales table, a workbook, I'm having another workbook for the guy who does sales called Michael Jordan here. And then I have another guy called Sam Henderson right here. So I like to pick the totals from these guys table, and so I can add them and get the sum of sales made from the sales guys from the US. So I want to pick on this value here for Thomas, and then pick from Anderson, and then pick one for Michael, and have them into a new workbook called references for my case in a table called US. Let's say the year is 2021, and these guys have done sales, and I'd like to know, let's say we have US, we have Japan, we have China coming in right there. Of course, I don't have all that, but just get the context. So now I want to pick on values from the various tables right here. So I want to get the sum of the values from those tables. So I'll just come here, I just say sum, right? Then I'm going to come to my table for Michael. I click OK. So you see, I select the total from Thomas, and then up here in my formula it says Thomas Terion Riff Workbook, which is the reference, the name of my workbook that I've saved. Then it says square bracket Thomas Terion, that mark that explains, then the $$9. Now, I told you that this $sign means that this value is absolute and it doesn't change in any way. So Thomas Terion here is the name of the sheet I'm getting this from, is this other name here. This is the name of the workbook I'm using in this instance. So I'll just come here, I click right in there. Oh, sorry, my thing is crazy. I click right there, and then I'll put a comma. Remember, I'm adding, so I look up another workbook. Let me go to Sam Henderson. Till I'll click that, till you see it just adds on to my workbook. It adds on to another. Then I click up, I put a comma, I look up the other workbook, which is for Michael. I'll click that, and then I have the workbook I wanted to work with. So I'll get there and I close bracket, then I click enter. When I click enter, it opens up my reference workbook, and then my total is right in there. When I click that total, you see the formula up here, it says Thomas Terion, adding all that. So we'll be adding all these various points of data coming in to make that sum, to make the sum for my US sales guys right here. So still, I want you to see this. When I try to change, hope you can see my entire screen. When I try to change, let me say I change something here. Okay, I need you to see that also. Have this side by side. When I try to change in Thomas's data, I try to change, let me say I change the quantity to that figure changes here, and also you see our total this side has changed. So these workbooks are interlinked together. Okay, I guess we are okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you how we reference, and then that will be it. Okay, how do we add format footers and headers and that would be it. So let me work with this data. I want to add a footer on this.
Looks like he's dropped off.
Will it come back on?
I wonder, I don't know, just like being a little patient, maybe he ran out of data or something.
Okay, because me, I was not following so much of this class. I have something I'm trying to complete, but I just hope to pick up on it.
Today's work was a bit hard. It requires that you pay attention to the how to insert the formula.
I'll play it.
Yeah. From that VLookup and HLookup, you have to really get the point list.
Yes.
You miss it. So. Let me call him up and see what's the issue.
Okay.
Back. Hello, Edward.
I'm sorry about that. I hope I am really clear.
Yes, you are clear.
Sorry, I got my gadget wasn't plugged in power, so it went off abruptly. So wanted to add a footer and a header. So I said, hope you remember how I got here. Let me recap on that. I said we come to page layout, okay, and then we have so many tabs right here. We have the themes section, we have the page setup, the scale to fit, the sheet options and the arrange. But then we want to work with the page setup. So there's this little box right down here. It brings up more options for us to work with, and than what we can see under the page setup. So we click that. And then when we pull it here, we have page margins, header, stroke, footer, then sheet. So we shall click header, stroke, footer. So right here, in the footer and header, there are quite some options that they have played for us here that we can work with for this. But I would probably, if we choose any of these, that can be a header, that can be a footer. Let's say that confidential, page that, and that, the dates for today, and then that. That can be your page, footer, or header. You can print preview that, and then see how that's going to look out when you print out. So you're going to have a header, it's right up there. And then you're gonna have a footer coming in there, and it's gonna be a page number, a date, and the confidential. That's what we selected. But we really don't want to do it that way. We want to have it a bit more customized. So we just gonna come here and we say custom header, and we want to just do our own thing. So we would like to just say Excel, okay. Excel, Excel, let me say Excel, let's say sales section, we want to say professionals, let's say I will say 2022, and this is our header choice that we've made. We can do many things with that. We can try to change the font, make it bold a bit, make it whatever font we want to work with. Let's say that, change the font size a bit, make it a bit bigger. We can do many things with this, and even we can change its scale, its color. Let's say we like it to be a bit of blue. We can do many things with that. So basically, you have all the liberty to play around with the headers and the footers and make things happen your way. So when we say okay, that shows Excel promotion 2019, 2022, that comes in there. So you can do a footer, confidential, date, and page number. I can leave that in there the way it is. They say okay, then you can still print preview that, see how that will look on our page to still come up. Excel professionals 2022, confidential. That's the date, and the footer comes right in there. So I did not actually say okay, so that did save on my side. So I'll just come back to this, and then I say okay. Then it's on. It's called, how do you view it? You print preview. Come to file. Sorry. Come to review. Okay, come to review. Okay, since something is up with my Excel. Okay, so I guess that is it. Any other questions?
I haven't seen, I've seen what we've done, but where is it now? Where is the header?
The header, you will need to print preview to see the header. Earlier, my Excel is a bit, we need to print preview to see which things are, I don't know. Okay. So, we need to stop that. You just have to print preview to see your headers and footers in Excel. For example, if I was working with this data, and okay, I'm having many workbooks. My thing is not trying to freeze. Let me close some of those workbooks here. I'll save. My Excel is really freezing. Okay, so I was trying to minimize my workbooks. Okay. So I have now, I have this now right here. Okay, I'll also close that up. So when you want to view to see your header on a worksheet, you may not see it because you're dealing with a very huge worksheet. It has thousands of rows and columns. So what you do is you do a print preview. Let me just get this. We do a print preview, and then we are able to see our header and footer. So just that. So for the footer, let's just work with them. The footer, let me just select something here, confidential. Different all pages, different first page, scale with document, all that. Then you do that. Now I cannot see my footers right here. Basically, I'm seeing that my page stops here, but it can't show me the footer. Okay. So if I want to really get in and see the footer, there's what we call view. Let me see review. So it gets me what they want. No. View gets me custom views. So I want to see page break preview, layout preview, normal. So I want to preview my data. So okay, it's empty. It's hard for me to use an empty sheet. to do that. Let me just open up something here, pull up some data. Okay, this will work now. Don't save. So as I said, page layout, then page setup, footer, headers, that custom footer, that will do. So quick review. Now here, when I do this, you can see my header and my footer at the end of the page. Because Excel is Excel, it's not like Word. The page endings are not shown in a workbook. You can only see that when you're trying to print a document. For example, you learned about how you print a workbook. So you can only view that at the place where you're trying to make a print of the workbook. When you scroll down, you can scroll and scroll and scroll, but all you'll be seeing is that you'll be seeing these dotted lines that indicate end of a given page, but still they don't show you that there's a footer here, there's a header there. They're just showing you various segments in your workbook. I think, have I answered your question? Hello? Hello? Any other questions? I think we are good.
I think what we need to whatever, where can we get the recording?
I can share a link.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's class has been a bit hard.
Sure.
So we need to go back. Yeah, we need to go back and replay it and practice.
So
So I think that would be nice.